Hi Aquarius, welcome to your February 2018 Astro Update. It's Rena here. So Aquarius, as I'm sure you know, February is our shortest month, and for some reason I thought we had leap year this year because it was an even year, but no cigar. However, even if we did have a leap year, it would still be a shorter month than normal. And there really aren't all that many special transits in February. But one thing that stands out is that Mars is going to be in Sagittarius all month long. And for Aquarius, this is a friendly angle, a sextile to your 11th house from your sun being in the first for most of the month, or at least, well, more than half of the month. The sun will be in your first house. But the 11th house is the house that you rule, so there's even more significance to that. And it's the house of hopes and wishes. And it's considered the luckiest house. And Mars there is going to make you, I was going to say hell-bent on making your dreams come true. Now, I just want to clarify that because this may have nothing to do with your career. You may have some other long-range goals that you've been putting on the back burner, and in February, you're just going to be chomping at the bit to make them happen. And because you're exerting so much effort, the chances of you actually succeeding at this could be a lot greater. Also, because Mars is in Sagittarius, there is kind of a philosophical influence to this, where it's about you seeing your life in terms of the meaning of it, or the fact that we are here to be happy. And it's not like some kind of indoctrination that was given to you. This is all your own. And the other thing, too, about the 11th house is it deals with friendships or group associations, and that may be more active for you throughout the whole month of February. So Venus goes into Pisces on the 10th, and this is your second house of earned income. Venus rules this house. So when Venus goes into the house of earned income, chances are that your earned income will be enhanced for some reason in some way. Now, sometimes I wouldn't get too strict about how this money comes about. It may not, ostensibly it should be from money that you earn. But I can vouch for having a Jupiter transit in the second house and getting a lump sum of money, but it wasn't money that I had earned. So I would keep it open and just say that it's good for money increasing around the 10th of the month. And then probably the centerpiece of February for Aquarius is your new moon of the year. So this is you're having your solar return, most of you, in February. And by the way, happy birthday to those in February as well as those in January, all Aquarians. But your new moon is actually a solar eclipse. And this happens on the 15th of the month at 27 degrees of Aquarius. So if your birth date is around, I would say, the 16th, maybe somewhere between the 14th through the 18th, that might be a conjunction with your sun. I'm kind of guesstimating there. And then that might be even more significant than other Aquarians. But this is a very powerful new moon, the solar eclipse. Don't get hung up on that date. It could manifest itself either before or afterwards, especially afterwards, for up to 6 months. But something about you is changing, and you may be even capitalizing on your image in some way depending on what it is that you do. Now, you're also having another lunar eclipse in the summertime. And of course, you had a lunar eclipse last August. So you've been dealing with a lot of eclipse activity in the last year or so, Aquarius. And late July is going to be the next time that you have that eclipse. So that's on the 15th, and then 2 days later on the 17th, Mercury goes into that second house. So for most of the month, well, half of the month, Mercury is in your first house of the self and making you your own best PR agent. And then it goes into your second house of earned income, and your mind is on your money. And you may be crunching numbers or simply taking stock of what's going on with your finances, maybe reorganizing some things, and maybe even coming up with brainstorming ideas on how you can make more money. But this is at a time when Venus is in that house. So the idea of making money, ideas on how to make money may be more plentiful now. The next day, the sun goes into that second house in Pisces and joins Venus and Mercury there. And so the sun is a creative force and just a positive overall influence. So again, for the first half of the month, you have the sun in your sign, and then it goes into the second house, and your mind is on more practical matters. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is the fact of the aftermath of the total lunar eclipse in Leo, your opposite sign, that occurred on January 31st, so the last day of January, and, ushering in the month of February. So this happened to be in your seventh house of committed partnership. Some of you may be mourning the loss of a partner, but understand something. I don't feel that, even if this was like a sudden event, I feel that you still would not necessarily be surprised if you were honest with yourself. Even sudden events can have a long history behind them. And it's almost like these astrological transits are catalysts to give people the courage to do what they need to do, that they've been kind of dragging their feet on. So look to eclipses as points of liberation rather than things to dread. It doesn't mean that all Aquarians are going to break up with their partners. Obviously not. And just keep in mind, too, that I am doing kind of a universal reading for all Aquarians, and it's not taking into account the degree points, which are extremely important when we're doing predictions. But with lunar eclipses, there could be profound discoveries, or insights is a better word, that you have about the other person. And because during a full moon, which is what a lunar eclipse actually is a very powerful full moon, we're talking about an opposition from the sun to the moon. And so the first house of self is engaged, as well as that seventh house. And you're coming from the standpoint of that first house. The lunar eclipse is happening. It's illuminating that other person. And for some people, they may see how they play into the conflict. And it's good for us to really look at ourselves and our behaviors and how we contribute to problems in our very close relationships, like marriages and other monogamous relationships. So that might actually save a troubled relationship, that kind of an insight. So in any case, Aquarius, I hope that you got something out of this. If you'd like a private reading, I have natal chart interpretations which go into your personality traits, as well as look at some of the highlights in the coming year that pertain to certain areas of your life. And I have other types of readings too. Please click on the link below for that. My website is RenaMoonAstrology.com. Once again, happy birthday. Take care. Bye.